You wake up tired. You went to bed 8 hours ago, but you wake up tired. By 2 in the afternoon, you're running on empty. The belly that wasn't there at 45 is now just there. Your motivation to do anything, work, gym, even things you used to love, it's gone. And the drive, the confidence, that quiet sense of being a man in his prime, that's gone too. So you finally go to the doctor. You do the blood work, and he looks at the numbers and says, "Your testosterone is low. Have you considered TRT?" And part of you feels relieved. Finally, an answer, a fix. Before you say yes to that prescription, there are things you deserve to know. Things that don't always make it into that 15-minute appointment. That is exactly what this video is about. We are going to go through everything today. What TRT actually is, what it genuinely does for your body, and what the real risks are that most men only find out after they have already started. But I want you to stay with me until the end, because in the final section I'm going to show you something that surprises most men. A set of changes that can move your testosterone levels dramatically, sometimes within 90 days, without a single prescription. Your doctor may not have mentioned them, and they matter more than most men realize. What is happening in your body? Here is something nobody tells you clearly enough. After the age of 50, your testosterone drops by roughly 1 to 2% every single year. That does not sound like much, but by the time you're 55, you may have lost 10% or more of the testosterone you had in your early 40s. By 60, potentially 15 to 20%. What this means for you is, this is not weakness. This is not laziness. This is biology. Your body is producing less of the hormone that drives energy, muscle, mood, focus, and sexual function. The symptoms you are feeling are real. They have a real physical cause. Testosterone is not just about sex drive, that is the part men hear about most, but it is actually the smallest part of the picture. Testosterone regulates how your body burns fat versus stores it. It controls how quickly your muscles recover after exercise. It affects your red blood cell production, your bone density, your sleep quality, and even your ability to concentrate and stay sharp. When it drops, everything drops with it. And that is why low testosterone at 50 does not just feel like one problem, it feels like 10 problems at once. What TRT actually is, testosterone replacement therapy, is exactly what the name says. You introduce testosterone into your body from an outside source to bring your levels back up to a healthy range. It comes in 3 main forms. Injections are the most common, typically given every 1 to 2 weeks, either at a clinic or self-administered at home. Gels are applied daily to your skin, usually shoulders or upper arms, and absorb into the bloodstream. Pellets are small implants inserted under the skin every 3 to 6 months that release testosterone slowly over time. Each method has its own rhythm. Injections can cause peaks and dips in how you feel depending on your injection schedule. Gels give a steadier daily level but require care so you do not transfer them to a partner or child through skin contact. Pellets are the most hands-off, but once they are in, adjusting the dose is not straightforward. What this means for you is the delivery method matters. This is not a one-size-fits-all decision, and the method that is right for you depends on your lifestyle, your discipline, and how your body responds. The real benefits, let us be clear, for the right man, TRT is genuinely life-changing. The research is real. Men with clinically low testosterone who go on TRT report meaningful improvements in energy, often within the first 4 to 6 weeks. Muscle mass responds better to training. Body fat, particularly the dangerous fat that accumulates around the belly, begins to reduce. Mood lifts. Brain fog clears. Libido returns. These are not small things. For a man who has been living at 30% of his capacity for 2 or 3 years, getting that back is significant. We are not dismissing that. TRT works for the right man, at the right time. What this means for you is, the benefits are real, but they are not magic. Most men on TRT say they feel like themselves again, not like a 25-year-old. That distinction matters when you are setting expectations. The risks most men hear too late. Here is where we need to slow down, because these 3 things do not always make it clearly into the conversation before a man starts TRT, and they should. First, your body stops making its own testosterone. When you introduce testosterone from outside, your brain detects that levels are sufficient and signals the testes to shut down their own production. This is called suppression. For most men on TRT, natural production drops significantly, sometimes to near zero. If you stop TRT without a carefully managed protocol, your levels can crash, often lower than they were before you started. For many men, TRT becomes a lifelong commitment. What this means for you is, starting TRT is not a short-term experiment. You need to go in knowing this could be permanent. Second, your blood can thicken. Testosterone stimulates red blood cell production. That sounds positive, but too many red blood cells make the blood thicker and harder to pump. This condition is called polycythemia, and it raises the risk of blood clots, stroke, and cardiovascular events. It is manageable, but only if you are being monitored properly with regular blood work. What this means for you is, if nobody is checking your hematocrit levels every few months, something important is being missed. Third, fertility drops dramatically. If having children is still a consideration, or if you simply want to preserve that option, TRT can reduce sperm production to near zero. There are ways to manage this, but they need to be discussed before you start, not after. The story moment, I want to tell you about a man, 54 years old, successful, fit by most people's standards. He went on TRT after a doctor visit took less than 20 minutes. Nobody discussed the suppression. Nobody mentioned monitoring his blood. 6 months later, his hematocrit was dangerously high. His sleep had actually worsened, and he felt trapped because stopping felt just as scary as continuing. He was not unlucky, he was underinformed, and that is the gap this video exists to close. Because TRT done right, with proper testing, proper monitoring, and realistic expectations, is a very different experience from TRT done fast and cheap. Before you decide, try this first. Here is what surprises most men. 3 lifestyle factors alone can raise testosterone levels measurably, and most men have never optimized all 3 at the same time. Sleep. A single week of sleeping 5 hours per night reduces testosterone by 15%. Not over years, over 1 week. If your sleep is broken or short, fixing it first is non-negotiable. Body fat, fat tissue, especially belly fat, contains an enzyme that converts testosterone directly into estrogen inside your body. Losing even 5 to 10% of body weight can move testosterone levels meaningfully upward. Resistance training, heavy compound movements, squats, deadlifts, rows, 3 times per week create a measurable hormonal response. Not cardio. Weights. What this means for you is if you have not yet optimized your sleep, your body composition, and your training, your blood work does not yet reflect your true potential. A good doctor will tell you to address these first. That is not a delay, that is the correct order of events. Honest close. TRT is not a shortcut. It is a medical commitment, and for some men it is the right one. But it is a decision that deserves full information, proper blood work, honest monitoring, and a doctor who treats you as a whole person, not just a lab number. If you are considering it, get a full hormone panel, not just total testosterone. Look at free testosterone, SHBG, LH, hematocrit, PSA. Find a men's health specialist, not a quick online clinic that turns scripts around in 48 hours. You deserve to make this decision with your eyes fully open. Conclusion. So here's my question for you, and I genuinely want to hear your answer in the comments below. Have you looked into TRT, and what is the one thing that is either pushing you toward it or holding you back? Drop it below. I read every single reply. And if this video gave you something that your last doctor's appointment didn't, hit subscribe. Every week, I bring you real, honest information about men's health over 50. No hype, no agenda, just the truth.